Okay, Game Center number 6 is called the Missions Game Center. And what MatFacts missions are is basically a game that is played between two players. One player has this is the clue sheet. So they all have in the upper left-hand corner math mission number. This is number 1, and their goal is to identify the number. Now, the answer is right on here because this player is the person who's going to be giving the clues. So the answer is the number is 216. What they're going to do is read one clue at a time, and player 2 is going to keep guessing until they actually get the number. So let me show you what the guess sheet. So there's always a clue sheet, and then there's a guess sheet. And the person guesses on the sheet, and each time, if they get it right on their first guess, they get 10 points. If they get it on the second guess, it's 9, and then a third guess is 8, and so on. Now I'm going to put them both on one page so you can see them both at one time. I'm going to play a simple game between player A and player B. So let me grab a pen real quick. Okay, so player A is going to be the player reading the clues, and player B is going to be the person guessing. So player A says, okay, let's start the game. Player B already knows that they have to identify the number and that it's a three-digit number. So basically, it could be anything from, I guess, 001 up to 999. But they don't have to guess yet. They get their first clue. So player A says, clue 1, the number is smaller than 300. So now, player B is going to take their first guess. They're not going to guess anything above 300 because it's obviously not that. So they're going to get something smaller. So let's say that they guess 299. Somebody who takes clues very literally. Okay, 299. Now, they say, all right, I guess 299. Player A, who has this clue sheet that player B cannot see, looks at the answer and says 216. Sorry, that's not correct. So player B does not get 10 points. They would get 10 points if they guessed it on their first guess, but they didn't. So now player A says, all right, let's go to the second clue. The hundreds digit is twice as large as the tens digit. So let's see, if the tens is 1, the hundreds is 2. If the tens is 2, the hundreds is 4. If the tens is 3, the hundreds is 6. But given the fact that it's got to be smaller than 300, the only thing that works is if the tens is 1 and the hundreds is 2. So it's going to be 200, I don't know, something between 210 and 219. So let's say the person guessed 213. Player B says, I guess 213. Player A looks at their sheet and says, sorry, that's not the right guess. Okay, so now the player A says, all right, let's do clue 3. The ones digit is 4 larger than the hundreds digit. Well, they know that the hundreds digit is 2 and the tens is 1, and the ones needs to be 4 larger than the hundreds. So 4 bigger than 2 is 6, and they say, okay, my third guess is 216. Player A says, yes, you got it, and player B earns 8 points. Now, they could have got it on their first guess, got 10. They might have got on the second, they got 9. They might have got on the third, it's 8. Then it goes to 7, 6. One thing I will tell you is the last couple clues basically give the answer away if the student is still trying. So eventually students should get some points on each problem unless they're really, really struggling or they're not paying attention. And every mission is like this. It's got a question sheet and it's got a guess sheet. The guest sheets are customized because there's different kinds of missions. Some are identify the number, some are identify the data, identify the greatest common factor, whatever it is, it changes, and therefore the sheet is customized. Now, at this point, player B would get a clue sheet, they would read it, and player A would take a guest sheet, and they would do the opposite. And in theory, they could just play one round. Player B got 8 points. Player A goes, and let's say they get it on their fourth guess, they get 7 points. Then the winner is player B. If player A gets it on one guess, that's 10 points, they would win. So they basically play that. Or you could do multiple rounds. You could say, let's play 3 rounds and see who wins. And that would be basically left up to you and how much time the students have. Now, the different missions have different content. So here's one that's about operations. So it's math mission number 7, identify the three numbers. But this time the three numbers are different. So it says the numbers are all smaller than 10. The sum of the two largest digits is 15. The two largest numbers are 3 apart. The total sum of the three numbers is 16. So it's going to keep giving them clues. They're going to keep guessing. The other player's going to keep guessing. Here's the guess sheet for this one. They put down their 3 guesses for guess 1, then guess 2, guess 3, and they keep doing that until they get the correct answer, and then they get that many points. Here's another one. This time we're finding 3 numbers. This is about greatest common factor, so listen to these clues. Okay, clue 1, the numbers are all smaller than 25, so they can guess a lot of things. But then the next clue says, if they don't get it, clue 2 says the greatest common factor of the 3 numbers is 4. So that narrows them down to 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. Okay, so they take their 3 guesses and maybe they get it, maybe they don't. The next one, the middle number is 3 times the smallest number. Well, that starts to narrow it down real quick. And again, it's going to emphasize content knowledge. So moving right along. As I said before, each guess sheet is customized. This is one I just want to show you real quick about percentages. In this one, and the clue might be something like 1 of the percents is equal to 1/2. So of course, you know that's 50%. And since all the guesses are going to be percents, each guess gets listed as 3%, 3%, 3% until they get it. At the end, starting at number 67 up to number 82, these are what I call challenge missions. Instead of being single skill specific, like only decimals, only fractions, only percent, these challenge ones incorporate many different skills into one. So these would be used, to challenge kids. Not too early, it could frustrate some kids. So I'll give you an example. This one says, clue 1, the numbers are all in the teens. Okay, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. The next one says, one of the numbers is divisible by 6. Well, in there, you think 12, but that's not a teen. So the only one, it's got to be 18. 2 of the numbers are even. So again, they have to know odd and even. One of the numbers has exactly 5 factors. So they have to know factorization, and especially us math teachers know that if it has 5 factors, then it has an odd number of factors. It must be a square number. This one definitely is 16. So again, they're going to keep reading the clues while the other player has a guess sheet, and they keep guessing until they get the correct answer. And that is Game Center number 6. They're called MatFacts missions. They can be done, I guess the guess sheets can be consumed. You could use, just photocopy it and then give each kid, use them a pencil on it. But preferably, you would put it in a sheet protector, then use a marker, and then the same guess sheets could be used over and over, and nothing gets written on the clue sheet, so they're good forever. Now, there's only one technicality that I will let you decide, and that depends on the type of student you're working with. But let's go back here. Let's say that I'm working with some students that are struggling a little bit. This first guess, when they said 299, remember it was smaller than 300? I can either say, no, that's not the correct answer. Or if you decide to make the rules this way, you can say, that's not the correct answer, but you did get the hundreds digit correct. So they would know that the 2 was right. Then after clue number 2, and they guess 213, remember the 2 in the hundreds and the 1 in the tens are right. So then you could say, well, the hundreds is right and the tens is right. And basically that would be more helpful so they would know if they were close. Depending on the type of student, if the student is doing well, then I might not give them any help at all. Just say, no, I'm sorry, that's not the correct answer, and keep playing. If you want to modify those rules when a student is a person who's struggling, then that might be an okay idea as well. I will leave that up to you. Okay.